Hello, everybody, and welcome to Culture of Gaming's Power. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Culture of Gaming's Power Up Podcast, Episode 4. I am your host, Taylor, and I am joined by Anthony.
Hey everyone, nice to be here again. And it's been a busy week, but yeah, looking forward to another podcast. And I think I said exactly the same thing as last week, but anyway, we'll go from there.
Yeah, Andrew
Hello, friends.
and John.
How's it going? I'm back. Party can start now.
Yeah, we missed you the past
Awesome.
couple weeks. Anyway, so we have a great show as usual lined up for you guys this week, and let's just start off with what have you guys been playing this week, Anthony?
Well, I haven't really been able to play that much because my graphics card's been sent off to try and get repaired. But I've been playing a little bit of Eve until it crashed, Eve Online.
Yeah.
And a couple of indies like Misty Thrifty, I think it is. So that's just like a little top-down shooter type of thing. But yeah, I haven't had that much of a week in gaming because of obvious reasons.
Okay. Andrew?
Yeah.
I'm like head dived into Rainbow Six Siege right now, so
Awesome.
feeling good about that game. Yeah.
We're actually talking about
Solid
Rainbow Six
choice.
later in the show, so
yeah.
yeah. That totally wasn't scripted at all. And John, what have you been playing?
I've been replaying some games for articles I've been writing about deeper meanings of video games. So I've just beat Spec Ops: The Line.
Oh yeah, okay.
Probably be moving into BioShock here in a little bit.
Okay.
I really want to play that. Haven't had a chance to yet.
Which one, Spec Ops or BioShock?
Yeah, it's Spec Ops.
Spec Ops is real good if you can get
Yeah.
past the pretty generic gameplay. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I have played nothing but Eve this past week. I'll be honest. And it's actually a great lead into the first topic, but which I will announce here as soon as we move on to it, of course. But yeah, just nothing but Eve. I think the past 3 days I put in like 8-hour sessions into it, trying to get all the logistics for my corp set up and everything, because I recently started my own in that game. So yeah, just been fun doing that setup and whatnot. And things finally calmed down. And finally not play Eve at all this weekend and be perfectly fine. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
it's fun to be
Awesome.
at that point. So yeah, first topic, as aforementioned, is Eve's $1 million letdown. So polling you guys here, did you guys hear on Monday about the $1 million fight on Eve happening? That was going to happen on Tuesday. That would have been January 23rd.
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Was that the one with like the 5,300 players or something, which was going to be attacking a base or something like that?
Yes, that's close. That's closest so far. John?
Closest so far?
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard anything.
All right. So what we got going down is the political situation in Eve. This is gonna be as brief as possible, or else I could go on for about 3 hours. But
And not even scratch the surface.
yeah. So you basically got two sides. Let's just call them the North and the South. Okay. The South was going to invade the North, and the first point to do that, or the first way to do that, would have been to attack the North's Keepstar, which is a player-owned base that they can deploy in space, and it's the largest structure that any player can deploy. So, yeah, the first step into invading would have been to destroy this Keepstar, and the South, if everything was poised, that it was going to be a very, very large fight, considering that it was looking like both sides would have had to commit most of their fleets to this one fight. And considering that these are the two largest entities in the game, this would have been absolutely massive. So the Keepstar, which was due to be attacked on Tuesday, before Tuesday, a prominent member, maybe prominent isn't the word, a decently known member of the Eve community made a post that made it to the top of r/gaming with about 30,000 upvotes and was the top of r/all for about 8 hours, hyping the $1 million fight in Eve that was going to take place the next day. So Tuesday rolls around and both sides bring about 3,000 people each, because we actually did break a record in that fight with being 6,000 people in a single system in one day. And for those of you who don't know how Eve works, Eve is all on the same server.
Yep.
So it's only one server that has to handle 6,000 people being in an area. It'd be like in WoW if 6,000 people crowded in a Goldshire, which would be ridiculous. Yeah. And so that's basically the server was unable to handle a majority of the fight.
Yeah.
Even at
Fair enough.
maximum, let's call it overdrive for all intents and purposes, because Eve's server will go into what's called as time dilation, where it slows down the calculations of the game by multiple factors depending on how much load it's undergoing. And the caveat to this is, sure, the game is playing slower. So on Tuesday, it did reach 10% time dilation, which means a 1 minute action would take 10 minutes.
Wow.
But at the very least, at least the command would get processed.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
even time dilation decided to break under 6,000 people.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that resulted in a lot of people's actions not registering, people not able to log in for the fleet or jump into the fight or anything. So it was kind of moans and groans all around. It was a very buggy mess and everything. And it was really quite a shame because Eve has had quite a number of large battles the past few years and everything that have made mainstream headlines, mostly after the fact and everything. So, yeah, this was kind of a letdown because we were expecting I guess we led, and on behalf of the Eve community, sorry for kind of hyping everyone up and not delivering, but, yeah, we hyped everybody up, and, well,
And the server crashed.
yeah, you
Awesome.
guys got let down.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, so so the meat of the topic, which I would like for us to discuss about here, is, can we really place the blame on CCP, the developers of Eve, for not being able to handle this? Or, because we got to blame someone for the server being screwy. So, is it
Why do we
unreasonable
have
to
to
blame?
blame anybody?
Do we not have to? Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I would say, well, yeah, it's depending on how much load's on there, it's kind of a situation where, there's a failure and then they learn from that failure. So I don't think it's a matter of, blaming someone. I think it's a matter of them increasing their server to be able to handle that type of load and then learning from it and being able to, make it happen in the future kind of thing. It would have been awesome to see and it would have been great to see.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have seen it. But yeah, it's unfortunate that it's gone ahead and crashed like that.
Yeah.
They probably thought that maybe, at least the time dilation would be able to keep up. But, something like that where it's like the biggest, stress that the server has ever had,
Yeah.
more than likely, and it goes down. I don't think anybody's really to blame for that. That's, that would be something, you would have to pick yourself up and learn from, and, so next time it happens, if it ever happens again, they'll be ready.
Yeah. Andrew, what are your initial thoughts on this?
I've never actually played Eve, but that's a lot of people, and come on, that happens all the time with games, right? Like people are all hyping up and
Yeah.
so let down, and it's a bummer. It's a bummer for the community.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? Right? Apparently we haven't figured out server loads yet.
This was quite the learning experience for people in the community and everything, though, overall, and I think for CCP in a lot of ways also, because the last major battle that really circulated and made headlines was back in 2013. Or, no, it would have been 2014. It was January of 2014, I believe. And it was the Battle of Bioware, which was, I don't want to say a similar scale, but it was Eve's last, biggest fight. Technically, there was one that came after that back in 2016, but no one really heard about it, even though how massive it was. So the last one to really make headline attention was Bioware, and I believe the record number then was 4,500 people or so in the system. And, we just added an extra 1,500 people to this one. And I guess we hit the breaking point. And a lot of community members were very disappointed in it type thing.
Yep.
And it did reveal a lot of the post-mortem details that we got from CCP revealed that, okay, so Eve running on the server and everything, it cannot make use of multi-threading or multi-core. It's all done on a single core.
Yep.
So a lot of people are starting to beg the question if Eve needs to go the RuneScape route and have a lot of it rewritten, which I personally think would be healthy for the game. Although at the same time, I don't think we can take 2 or 3 years off of not having any sort of like major changes to the game quite yet. So
That would be
Oh,
pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty rough for any community to go through, like just being gone for 2 or 3 years.
yeah.
People would figure out they could live without it and then not come back.
Because there's a bunch of like political, I dare say political issues surrounding CCP and the community and everything, and that's a lot to get into. Like this kind of gets into a much bigger problem that goes certainly beyond the scope of this show right now, and and so whether or not it's very unlikely, let's just say it's very unlikely that CCP will consider this to like a significant rewrite of RuneScape, even though some people may want it. So, Andrew, what were you going to say before John?
Oh, I was just wondering, how old is is that game still in early access? How is that how it works?
No, Eve is not in early access. I think the Steam
Okay.
page actually has it as early access, but
Okay.
the
Yeah,
game
yeah.
has been released since 2003.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was curious when it
Yeah.
came out.
The server
Might be
that's
thinking
running
of
it.
Star Citizen.
I'm sorry, John?
Oh, I said he might be thinking of Star Citizen
Oh, yeah, maybe.
being early access.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, so Eve has been out since 2003. It's undergone, obviously, a myriad of graphical and engine improvements over the years and everything. And the server that's responsible for handling all of Eve's stuff is called Tranquility. That's the server that it's played on. And TQ, as it's abbreviated, has had iterations done on the hardware over the years. We're on its 3rd iteration that I believe came out early 2017, if not later in 2016. So it's definitely no slacker when it comes to hardware. So yeah. So yeah, that was Eve's $1 million letdown, as we call it. A lot of times whenever large fights happen in Eve, the community likes to put a real world monetary value on it, because there's this item in the game that you can buy for real world dollars, and you just use the conversion rate there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was wondering why it was called that.
Yeah, so if all like fleets would have been able to fully commit and the fight would have actually like gone down, people were anticipating the way it would have went down, then all in all, when it was all said and done, it was probably going to be about $1 million lost.
Yeah.
Which would have absolutely trumped any past E fight. The largest E fight so far has been about 300 grand. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
Make it happen, definitely.
I know,
Be
make it
awesome to
happen,
see.
right? Yeah.
Make it happen. Get to work, come on.
Mhm.
For a game that's been out since 2003, though, it still looks pretty good and it plays pretty well. So they're doing a good job with it.
Oh boy. It's like the opinion of that isn't like, on the surface everything seems fine, but in the back end it's very messy. Doing what I do in game, 5-6 years in now. I've been playing the game for 5 or 6 years. Doing what I do in Eve now, you definitely get to experience a lot more of the messier back end side of things than you do the very clean surface kind of things.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because jumping into the tutorial, like it tells you what to do, but you don't really know what you're doing. It doesn't really tell you where stuff is, and you got this massive, great big menu with like 20 different options in each menu, and then you go into your inventory, and then you do this, and then you craft something, and then what do you do then? So I think they need to clean it up a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's still going pretty well.
Okay. Yeah.
If you've got a few hours to spare, then sure.
Yeah. Overall, the game does play really well, but Eve has always had the issue in terms of like balance and pretty much every aspect of Eve, and I think any aspect of any video game can follow under the same sentiment, where mass scaling up of things will break stuff.
Yeah.
Like things used to an extreme scale will certainly break stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how technology works. That's how computers and
Fix
stuff
technology. Come on.
Yeah. So, any closing thoughts about the $1 million letdown? All I really have to say about it is this kind of brought to the public a bunch of issues that the Eve community has with its developers, as well as, it's really making us look at ourselves too and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I mean, this is very, very interesting times for us, to say the least.
Yeah.
So
Do you know how many players the server would be able to handle? Like the maximum?
I mean, all right. So the highest peak of like logged in players concurrently was 60,000, but
Okay.
it was spread out among
Yes, yeah.
it was spread. Of course spread out among various systems and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so each system, or each rather a cluster of systems, operates on what CCP calls nodes, and these nodes each have like X amount of processing power dedicated to it, type thing. Unless you get a reinforced node, which there's only one or two reinforced nodes that are really around. There's a reinforced node for the system called JITA, which is the primary trade hub in the game, and has at any given point about 2,000 or 3,000 players in it. And
Yeah, okay.
yeah, and then there are reinforced nodes for a couple other systems, but other than that, yeah, CCP did at least move the $1 million fight, the system that took place in, to a reinforced node. So they tried.
Yeah, okay.
They tried.
Yeah, they tried.
So yeah, Andrew, John.
I didn't even know. I thought it was a different game. We were talking.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Although, do we
It's-
want to? We can talk about Star Citizen a little bit now that you did brought it up. But John, any last thoughts?
I mean, it's a learning experience for the developers. If they take it to heart and they figure out how to fix something like that, then it could work out for the good. But
Mm.
if they just blow it off and let it keep happening, they
Yeah.
there's just gonna grow. It'd be sad to see that game disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, let's talk about Star Citizen just a little bit. How familiar are you guys with Star Citizen in general, if at all?
I want to play it, but I'm not that familiar with it.
Okay,
I'm familiar a little bit.
okay. Andrew?
I haven't played it.
This is the one that's been in early access forever, right? Like constantly.
Yeah.
And they've made $1 million or whatever.
Yeah, Kickstarter launched back in 2012. Eventually, it moved from the Kickstarter over to their own site for fundraising.
Yeah.
And I think has
Raised
about
like $6 or $7 million or something.
has about
or more.
$170 million crowdfunded to it.
Way.
Way
Yeah.
off, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
I knew it was a ridiculous number, but
yeah, it's at about 170 million or so, and about $300 of that is my money. Yeah. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I do have skin in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I guess maybe the latest controversial thing to come out of Star Citizen has been a potential pending lawsuit between CIG, or Cloud Imperium Games, the primary developer of Star Citizen, and Crytek.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like there could be a pending lawsuit going on. There have been some public legal statements released between the two companies, which are they're basically doing everything they can to dodge a lawsuit, but it definitely does look like it is heading towards a lawsuit. So,
Uh,
oh,
Is it
anybody
just
know?
like what over them using a like Crytek's engine or something, or
I think that's what it was, right? It was like they
Sounds-
still have old assets in there that use Crytek, and they like, reportedly said they weren't using Crytek anymore or something like that.
More or
Yeah.
less, yeah. It was basically when CIG licensed out Crytek to use the CryEngine for Star Citizen. CIG, as part of the licensing deal, because I mean it was a very expensive licensing deal
yeah,
at the time and everything, basically said, "Oh, we're going to pretty much make CryEngine unrecognizable from what you would have seen in the Crysis games and everything." And I guess a few years later, Crytek is like, "Yeah, you guys are getting kind of close to having a tangible game going here, and there's still quite a few bit of assets that we'd like you to change. So I mean, what's going on?" Plus, Crytek is also alleging that CIG poached several CryEngine developers.
ooh, okay.
Yeah. So
Sounds like fun.
and what's interesting is that Crytek as a company or a developer hardly exists because they did kind of go under a couple of years ago.
Right.
So they've only developed Crisis, and that's it, isn't it?
Rise Son of
But,
Rome was them, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
think that
Karate.
was-
Yeah, okay.
I think that was kind of their last thing before they just
Last effort.
started, developing the engine.
yeah.
Mm. Have they got anything else that might be coming out in future, or anything that's been announced, or
Uh,
I don't think so.
don't think so?
no.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think they're just an engine company for the foreseeable future.
definitely. Which, I mean, it is a really good engine.
Yeah,
It'd
it
be-
Yeah,
really
it is a
is.
good engine.
It'd be really
Definitely.
fun to see CryEngine go. I don't know what the term is for this. It wouldn't be open source, but be, I guess, publicly available, similar to like Unity or UE4 or something.
Right.
I remember hearing something about them. I think that it is now.
Is it? Okay.
I think it is.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty neat, actually.
Like Amazon bought them, I think, or bought something and made like the Cry engine or like a free version of it somehow. I
Okay.
vaguely remember something like that.
Wow. Interesting, to say the least. Wow, that's really cool, though. And yeah, so that's some Star Citizen drama. That was a little bit off this grand stream of topics, so let's get
Yeah.
right back on track. Andrew, let's talk about some fighting games.
Let's do it. Fighting
All right.
games.
Yeah.
Oh, I like fighting games.
All
Right
right.
on. You
Yeah,
know what's a
look-
good fighting game?
What?
Tekken 7.
Is it?
Yes,
It's
I agree with
fantastic.
that statement.
Okay.
And I got to Bandai Namco had a little event the other day, and I got to check out Noctis in Tekken 7. And I don't play Final Fantasy 15 or don't even really like the character. He looks weird and a little too anime for me, but he is pretty cool. What I got to play with him, he seems like really true to the style. He's doing like teleports, so you can do a couple cool strings where it's like, a 1-2, and then if I press 3, he's gonna teleport. But if I go 1-2 and I press 4, he does another mid. So he seems really cool and like an interesting character for the game. Like he doesn't play like anybody else. He uses his little spear thing. I don't know what it is. But he uses that for like some good pokes and stuff like that. So I'm actually looking forward to playing as him, just because I kind of stuck with one character and I really want to branch out and kind of mess around with some other guys now. But yeah, so he's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. They said spring 2018.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no real
Time
date.
now.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things they'll announce and then 2 weeks later he'll come out.
Yeah.
He seems ready. Like the build I played was like the whole game, so he definitely looked ready.
All right. What platforms? What platforms is Tekken 7?
It's on PS4, Xbox One,
And PC?
yes,
PC,
as well.
Okay. All right. So.
Not to get off topic, but CryEngine is free now.
Oh, okay. Thanks for verifying that. That's really cool. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to play around with that one day. And then any other cool fighting games, Andrew?
Oh yes, I also got to play the new Soul Calibur 6.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Okay. I was going to ask about that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How did that feel?
it feels good. I haven't played Soul Calibur since 4.
Yep.
So
That sounds about right. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, how it changed from 4 to 5. I didn't play 5 at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think many people did.
I played the demo on Xbox 360.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh.
heard it wasn't great.
Okay.
I wanted to play Soul Calibur. I think it was 2 on the original Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
It's either 2 or 3. Never got
Yeah.
a chance to though.
Mhm.
Could probably play it on PC though now, so that'll be good.
Yeah, they have like a HD version of it.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
But
I'd
yeah,
like to see more 3D fighting games. I really
Yeah.
would.
yeah, they're kind of
'cause-
coming back too. I think with Bandai Namco's kind of bringing them back.
Okay, so
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but like Soul Calibur's whole big thing is that you have a 360-degree plane to move around in, right? As opposed to the side to side of a normal fighter
Right.
game.
Yeah.
Is that the same for
Ah.
Tekken 7? Or
Yeah, so Tekken's like similar style movement.
Okay.
Interesting.
Tekken's it's a little more strategic on how you circle or whatever. You have to kind of hit up or down twice, and you have to you can't just kind of run around in a circle.
Okay.
You can't just button mash and win.
Aww.
I mean, you can.
You can.
That's my favorite way
Yeah.
to play fighting games.
Same here.
Yeah.
I'm not good at them, but yeah, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
Yeah. So they announced some returning characters like Nightmare and let's see, make my cheat sheet. Killick, the guy with the stick.
Yeah.
Xinghao.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And they got a new character named Gra. He's like kind of like this weird assassin, emo assassin kind of guy. And he was
Okay.
actually pretty cool. He had like a sword that like would break into two, and he could put it back together for some attacks. So that was
Okay.
kind of interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And then like apparently now they're really relying on this mechanic called the reversal edge, which is like this. I was told it's kind of like this way to like stop people from rushing you down. So like if you're new to the game and you're just getting whooped on because people are being super aggressive and taking advantage of like you're being new, you can
Yeah.
kind of pull this off, and it puts into like this like rock paper scissors state. So like there's like a tree, there's like a vertical beats horizontal and kick beats horizontal and vertical beats kick or something like that. I don't remember the actual
Okay.
tree.
Is that a game
Yeah.
mode or an ability?
No, so it's like you're gonna press. I think in my case it was like the right bumper,
Yeah.
and if you connected with it, the characters kind of both went backward and they ran at each other kind of cinematically and kind of slowed the game down a bit. And yeah, like I said, like if someone's rushing you down, it kind of give you a
Yeah.
break to kind of collect yourself from getting beat up too bad.
Okay.
Kind of Injustice style.
Yeah, kind of Injustice.
How do
Yeah,
you
a little bit.
How do you see that affecting higher level of play?
I think it's going to be interesting because if you landed one like successfully, you actually gained a lot of meter, a lot of the soul meter, I believe, or soul charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. Like people are going to have to like really guess and read an opponent, because if you miss,
Mm-hmm.
there'll be these big long attacks, and if you miss, you're going to get punished hard.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So it'll be interesting. Maybe people were talking about turning it off. I'm not sure. The game's still in development, so like
Yeah.
could be one of those modes that get turned off.
Okay.
Yeah. For tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I've never played a 3D fighting game, so that'll be interesting to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a
Added-
good entry point, I think.
Okay.
Add it to my growing list of games to get.
Right.
That or maybe Dead or Alive would be a good one to jump
Yeah.
into.
Yeah, Dead or Alive's a little weird, but
It's
Okay.
a little weird, but it's definitely not like Tekken deep.
Yeah, it's not full on crazy getting slaughtered kind of thing.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's funny too because I saw some people there. I like I said, I'm not familiar with too much with Soul Calibur, but some people were like, "Oh, he's still got this move," or Mitsurugi can still do this slash, or he's got a stance,
Mm-hmm.
and we couldn't look at the command list at all. So I was kind of dinking around. Like I played it for about an hour.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool.
Yeah,
I
okay.
enjoy what I played.
Nice.
Cool.
That's
Yeah,
good.
and they also have like some cool new stuff like a soul mode. I'm not sure what it is, but it's like you go like Super Saiyan basically, and like it has a little bit of pushback on everybody.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's cool. I'm looking forward to it. They just said 2018, so no cool dates or anything yet.
Okay. So let's get some speculation going. Are you more excited for Tekken 7 or for Soul Calibur 6? Granted, Tekken 7 looked like it was in close to release, but casting that aside, do you think Tekken 7 or Soul Calibur 6 will be the fighting game this year?
Oh, I think Soul Calibur is going to be able to bring a lot of like casual people back into it.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, because people remember, Soul Calibur 2 with Link and all those guys, and the Dreamcast, Soul Edge on the Dreamcast, and
Yeah.
people just love
Yeah.
Soul Calibur. Like the ring outs are silly and fun. There's
Uh-huh.
lots of crazy, flashy stuff. So I think it's going to be definitely a big game that's going to bring in a certain niche, because Tekken 7 is also pretty big, but it's not nearly as fighter. And even if Street Fighter 5 is kind of like in this weird gray area right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I personally like Tekken a little better. I like the movement better in Tekken. and I hate having to press a guard button.
Okay, that's
But-
fair.
I mean,
okay.
it makes sense for like you have weapons and stuff, so you're gonna use the guard
Yeah.
button and to guard break and all that good stuff.
Yep.
That's actually how I play Dark Souls. I don't block with a shield. I hate hitting the block with a shield. I'd rather dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. So
Dragon Ball might be up there though too.
Yeah, that game looks incredible.
that comes out
yeah.
end of
That
February.
came out on Friday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind. End
Yesterday.
of,
Oh, it's out.
okay, it's out. Have you guys gotten a chance to play that yet? Because I mean, Anthony
watched.
and I are just over here.
I got no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
I've
the
watched some on Twitch, but
okay.
I'll probably wait until wait a little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not a big.
Are there any reviews out for it or anything yet? Or
I don't know. I
I
haven't looked. I'm sure there are.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's some. I haven't checked.
I know
Oh,
people
yeah.
were getting, were playing it on Twitch like a couple weeks ago. So sure.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have had review copies.
I haven't heard any like horrible controversy surrounding the game, so that's always a good sign nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
neither have I. So let's
Yeah.
add that one to the list as well.
Today, my to-play games list drew by 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Estimated time for completion is now 2025 somewhere.
Somewhere,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, somewhere.
Estimated time to go broke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Next year.
yeah. All right, so concluding thoughts about fighting games. 2018 seems to be a very strong year for it.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's
Because
kind of this revival going on recently, in the last couple of years. So
I think the last like fighting game I remember coming out is Mortal Kombat X.
yeah,
Oh man, a lot has come out since then.
Has okay? Has there been?
Yeah.
Okay.
you got Injustice 2 and
Okay.
Yeah,
all that
just,
stuff. Yeah.
Street Fighter 5 is just plugging along, slowly
Yeah.
becoming a real game.
They got their arcade edition. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
It actually looks like it improved a lot. Like the UI looks a lot better now and like a lot flashier.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it downloaded. I need to, spend some time with it.
Yeah, I haven't booted it up yet myself, even though I
Yeah.
love Street Fighter 5. But I'm waiting for Cody to come back. Once Cody comes, I'm probably gonna be playing a lot of that. I
Okay.
love playing Cody in Street Fighter 4. So
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of hate to bring this game into the conversation, but it does honestly look like 2018 will see a Super Smash Bros. 4 Deluxe Edition
yeah,
for the Switch.
that'd be cool. I mean,
A la
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8. So,
yeah, if
I
it
mean-
doesn't come this year, then I think we're gonna have some kind of new Smash Brothers. soon.
yeah.
Yeah, I could see
Like-
that.
Yeah, this is like the time to bring like those Wii U games over.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Those
granted,
Wii U games nobody really played.
yeah. Hopefully they don't do too much of it. Hopefully they don't do too much of it, but yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't too much on the Wii U really anyway, right? So, like,
Right. But like I mean, the Wii U, it kind of had a horrible dogma around it where it would, it never really had a Zelda game besides remakes or like HD
Right.
remakes. So I think
Yep.
they're going to be careful with what they bring from the Wii U over to the Switch. I think the last 2 games I'm really waiting for would be both Smash Brothers and Mario Maker.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think those are the last 2 games I'm really hoping for.
Yeah, well, Nintendo's going pretty strong, so I don't think they'll be messing it up anytime soon by bringing too much over.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed that they keep it as it is and don't go off the rails a bit.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'd like to see more new games. I think,
Mm.
Nintendo has, a market again, so new games, will keep, hardcore gamers around who had a Wii U, but, people who stopped at the Wii and, were confused by the Wii U, not understanding what was going on.
Yeah.
Seeing those HD remakes might be a good
Mhm.
good positive for Nintendo.
Man, I'm glad that you brought up that topic about, people being confused about the Wii U, because, like, I even, like, someone like myself who's, I'd say, is fairly in tune with what's happening in the gaming world and everything in terms of news and whatnot, I was confused by what it was at first. It took me
yeah.
at least maybe a year and a half, 2 years to realize, oh, wait, it's another console and not just a tablet controller for the Wii?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, at the same time, I did kind of move away from console, around that time, I did move away from console gaming as a whole in general. because I did build the PC around that time. So, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it even confused me. I was like, whoa, okay. Then I
I mean,
eventually picked one
it
up, and it was
wasn't-
pretty cool.
It wasn't much different than a Wii, other than the tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now just think about all the grandmas and moms confused about what they were
Yeah.
trying to buy this little Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even marketed here that much. Like, it was just, oh, hey, here's a new console from EB Games, like 2 weeks before it came out. And then,
Yeah.
and then my brother bought one, and he's like, chuck it in the bin, never again.
Man, you guys
Yeah.
have EB Games over there still.
Yeah, well, that's the only.
Oh,
the
is
only
it?
one we've
Okay.
got, yeah.
See, over here.
We've got Game Traders, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, over here, at least in my area, we had GameStop and EB Games, and then GameStop's eventually acquired EB Games.
Yep.
Around here.
And all EB Games just became GameStop.
Yeah.
Mm.
Electronic
Well,
boutique.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
They're overpriced like crazy here, unless they're having one of their like 2 yearly sales that they have. They're just everything's overpriced. You're better off,
Uh,
kind of like GameStop. You're better off buying stuff online, eBay,
yeah.
Amazon, that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
And
Yeah.
in like the U.S., it's like GameStop doesn't even have that much buying power anymore.
Yeah.
I remember the night of the Switch, because I never actually pre-ordered the Switch. I was honestly waiting to see how well Breath of the Wild was going to review. And then
Yeah.
once throughout the day, I saw like tens. And so I started making plans for midnight. And it's like I called like 8 different GameStops within my area. It's like they were
Like,
all
we got 2.
yeah, they were all different reserved. They were all reserved and whatnot. The first Best Buy I called was like, yeah, we got stuff. Just come wait in line around 10. We're opening back up at 12.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
Awesome.
okay, great. Yeah. And then it was really like the way they did it on launch night is if you were waiting out line, they basically, a guy walked out, handed everyone flyers, and you got to circle which Switch you wanted,
Nice.
like either the neon or the gray one, and any
Great.
games, any amiibos, and any accessories you wanted. And then
Yep.
guy came back around like 10, 15 minutes later, collected everything, and then we waited another hour and a half till midnight, and then it was just like,
Just had
okay,
everything bundled up for you.
yeah, exactly. They
Yeah,
were like,
that's-
okay, you were
That's pretty cool.
That's
number,
kind of genius, yeah.
you were number like 45 in line. Here's all the stuff you wanted, and it was already at the front of the store and the counter and everything. Yeah,
Nice.
and as
I'm
far
not
as
someone. Yeah, go on, tell.
yeah, as far as I know, they didn't have any stock issues for all the people that were in line there. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We don't really have that here. Like, we might have the occasional midnight release, like EB Games might do it,
Mhm.
but you know, Harvey Norman, Kmart, all of that. Well, Kmart don't do games anymore, but Big W and all of them don't do midnight releases. And EB Games only very rarely do them for like a Halo, or that's kind of all I know that they do. And they ran out of stock very quickly, but you go in and get it on launch day, you might be waiting 10 minutes
Yeah.
okay,
to get it, and then you're set, kind of thing. So,
The nice thing about being in Pacific time is all the GameStops here sell everything midnight Eastern time because they're still open at 9.
yeah.
oh
And,
yeah,
You know, I can go in like the day of, and pay for something. They're like, "You're gonna be here at 9 tonight?" Like, yeah, sure, I'll be here.
yeah. It was actually that was the second midnight release I ever went to. Was for the
Okay.
Switch. The first was for Modern Warfare 3 back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's like I wasn't even there to buy the game on the midnight release. I was honestly going to go back the next day to another location, but I was pretty involved with the airsoft community in my area at the time, and they wanted us to
Yeah.
do like a cool little like sim show or something
Oh, that's cool.
around their GameStop.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And you looked at a bunch of videos, a bunch of other places in California did it also.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the extent of that.
Man, I gotta find my airsoft gun. I think it's at my parents' house somewhere.
Okay.
It's like
Oh.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that thing. I should probably shoot that thing again.
It's a really fun sport to play, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I used to do that years ago. We used to go behind my work and just shoot each other. It was bad. Like
Yeah.
with like fully automatic, like
Oh man.
M4 looking stuff, and
Yeah.
probably not a good idea nowadays. 10 years ago, got away
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, the field
Yeah.
I go to is really like they water some stuff down because it tries to have a bit of a younger audience to it. At least on
Right.
Thursdays, they do adult nights only, which are kind
That's
of fun to
cool.
go
Oh,
to.
nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's just airsoft's just like paintball, isn't it?
It is, yeah. More,
Yeah, but
more or
it's like
less,
plastic,
more or
like
less.
instead of paint.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Although they even,
We've like, all we've got is Nerf guns. That's it.
okay.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Australia hates guns, don't they? No.
Well,
Yeah.
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 Apparently.
So, yeah, moving or any other fighting games you guys want to talk about? Because wow, I got educated.
so did I.
Yeah.
There's a ton. There's a lot of indie games coming out too. I know there was one that looked kind of interesting. I forgot the name. But it was like a kind of like a horror game, like fighting game.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's
Terror Dome or something like that.
that's like the Flash based one. There's one that either came out for PS4 recently or did like a demo on there, and it's like you're playing as like Wolfman. Like it's interesting. I totally forgot the name. I'm gonna kick myself.
Killer Instinct. No.
No, I can't
No.
remember what it is, but there's just tiny. They're like these developers from I think Chile or South America somewhere, and
Okay.
it's pretty cool. I would definitely like. I have to look it up, but yeah, that game's pretty cool. I would definitely check that out. But other than that, whatever happened to Pocket Fighter? I got my Switch now, and there's this little like Neo Geo looking fighting game that was supposed to come to it. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, I don't know if that ever came out.
I don't think it did, right?
Didn't
I
it
don't
go
think
to
it did.
3DS or something?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think it went to 3DS.
Oh, that's
I mean,
lame.
I vaguely remember something called Pocket Fighter. I don't know if it ever came out or.
Yeah, it was like a 2-button like Neo Geo Pocket looking fighting game, and
Yeah.
now that I have a Switch, like I'm ready for it.
Nice.
Also, the Street Fighter collection's coming out this year. Oh
Mhm.
boy,
That'll be pretty sweet.
that's
Oh,
gonna
man.
be exciting.
Oh yeah.
This
Yeah,
is a
like,
hype year, apparently.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, playing like Street Fighter 3 online again.
Oh
Yes.
man.
Yeah, and Alpha 3 online. I don't even play Alpha 3, but I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lose.
That's what happens when I go online when I play fighting games. I just lose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
So as well. Yeah.
Man, I wish internet cafes were popular here in the States because like it'd be fun to go to them honestly I would probably go to one every single day or so and just party around the people playing like Street Fighter or StarCraft or something. I'll probably be playing StarCraft myself because
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, where it's like just the whole atmosphere and environment. It's really fun to be in and go to.
Yeah.
yeah, they got a lot of local tournaments. I'm sure you could seek out some if you want. I know around here in the Bay Area, they got like the Folsom Street Foundry does some stuff, and every like Tuesday and Thursday they have like Smash Bros tournaments and Rocket League tournaments.
Oh, okay.
It's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
and-
Okay.
We don't have anything that cool here in Arizona, so
Yeah.
sadly. So, Ubisoft shooting themselves in the foot right now. A couple episodes ago, maybe it was last episode, maybe it was 2 episodes ago. I don't even remember. It's all kind of a blur. We talked about how Ubisoft can apparently perform game necromancy, but apparently they have the habit of whenever they resurrect something, they proceed to shoot it in the head once more. So this headline, which is totally not sensationalized at all, is coming to you from Rainbow Six Operation Outbreak, I believe it's called, something to that nature. Anyway, it's
Yeah.
like a really out-of-place zombie game mode for Rainbow Six
Oh,
Siege.
yep.
I didn't see that.
Okay, and
Yeah, I heard about this.
it really upset the longtime community and the loyal fans, as not only did the standard edition of the game increase from $40 to $60, but also players.
Wow.
Yeah, right? It gets worse.
Yeah.
Players who had been playing for any given amount of time since then would not be receiving the 10 free Operation Breakout cases. Think of them like CSGO cases, more or less, except you don't have to buy a key.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would not be receiving the Operation Breakout 10 free breakout cases like a new player would. A brand new player
Yeah.
would. And
That's
so,
a really good idea.
yeah. So, that of course upset quite a bit of people. And so
Yeah.
after a solid day of whining and complaining, we finally got a Ubisoft response to basically say, okay, we will not do the price change, okay? we're not going to give you veteran players like cases or anything, but we will give you this really cool skin for an operator that usually costs like 20 or 30 bucks. Yeah.
Woohoo!
For free if you play between
Right.
any time between now and March 6th.
I
So,
better go play then.
yeah, that's calmed part of the community down. The other part is still has, I think I can still see the fire burning over there actually. And yeah, so the sentiment was definitely there of Ubisoft, you worked so hard to bring this game back. The game is in a great state. It's only getting better. The Pro League is getting better and better each season,
Exactly.
It's like, what are you doing? Why would you do this? I thought we were
Wouldn't they
past
do-
this.
Wouldn't they do a free DLC or something for zombie mode? Why charge people for it?
I don't know.
You look at Call of Duty, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare. I don't know, Modern Warfare didn't have it, but they've all got their own zombie modes and they're all come with the game or their DLC.
Uh-huh.
Why can't they do it like that?
I don't know.
Let's charge people $110 over here. Great.
Yeah, and considering pretty much all the DLC for Rainbow Six has been technically free. I mean,
Yeah.
with a ton of grinding or whatever to get those operators and that kind of stuff, but suddenly having paid DLC seems kind of bad.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I was definitely, thinking about throwing down my $25 for the next year. Just, because I like the way it was going. I'm kind of wondering if I'll do that this time around.
How long's it been out for? 2 or 3
2
years?
years?
2 years.
Yeah,
2
this will be its third year of in
Yeah.
season.
It's
Yeah.
gone through 2
And
seasons.
they're still going to charge people full price for a game that's been out for
Right.
2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that was the big thing too. And if you're someone who bought the year 3 pass, like I did, it was like $30, and then you don't have to.
Yep.
You'll get all the operators. You don't have to spend the in-game currency for the operators that come out each season this year. Because I mean, I still enjoy the game. I still play the game almost on a nightly
Yeah.
basis. I'm willing to
Yeah.
support the developers and everything for it. And it's because, so it's like, why not give those people that bought the year 3 season pass the 10 free packs for Operation Breakout too? Because I mean, as far as I know, Operation Breakout itself will actually be free.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing is they increased the price of the game, which was
Right.
uncalled for.
Right.
And
Yeah,
nowadays,
wow.
$40 isn't even. I hate to say it, but $40 isn't even that great of a value for what you get in Siege. Because the way that it worked was, so they had this $20 starter edition, and it
Yeah.
only got you, I think, 1 or 2 operators on the attacking and defending side, and you had to spend a ton of the in-game currency to unlock just the base game operators from there.
Yep.
Yeah, where then at least with the $40 one, at least I believe you got all the base game operators.
Yeah.
I think for the full.
I mean,
I-
you still had to, I guess, unlock them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But I think was the cost reduced if you paid for the $40?
Right.
no?
I think you had to use the Rainbow Six credits instead of the money you get
Playing?
for yeah.
Okay.
So that's how you unlock them otherwise.
Okay.
So when I bought it recently,
Yeah.
I got the year 2 version, and I got all the year 2 people. So I got
Oh, okay.
four
Yeah.
operators, I think.
Mhm.
You got 4 operators on each side.
Yeah, I had 4 operators on each side, and then that's all I got. I had to unlock all the base guys with the
Really?
renown. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that was for $40.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I might have got it on sale for a little less, but roughly around there.
Yeah.
And so
I
a lot
caught
of.
it on sale. I caught the Ultimate Edition on sale with year 1 and year 2 all thrown in for $60. I couldn't.
Okay. You see, now that's a good deal.
That's a
right
good
there.
deal.
That's
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
that's probably the best deal you could have had right there. But
Yeah.
now even with this whole price thing, people are saying okay, so there's now 16 additional operators to unlock besides the ones that were there in the base game.
Yep.
So, which I think was actually close to 16 also.
Yeah, it might have been 20.
Yeah, it might have
yeah,
been
you're
16
right.
or 20 base game. So, yeah, it's
Yeah, I
the
think-
operators are just about doubled.
Mhm.
Yep.
And so it's
I mean, you still have
doesn't
to pay
quite cut.
what, $150 $140 total to, if you bought that and all the season passes.
Yeah, if you were to just like with real life money buy all the operators and everything, it works out to around 150 or so.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
will say though, they do a pretty good job of giving you like the renown in that game.
Oh yeah, they
do,
do.
yeah.
It's definitely a very fair system and everything.
Yeah, I never felt like I was grinding that hard because I would unlock one operator and try to learn them, see if I liked them, and then I was like, well, maybe not for me. And then if I really wanted to grind, I could do some of the single player, like the situations,
Yeah.
Okay.
Paris Hunt, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And that's
they
still really fun.
Yeah.
they really never were like too hard on giving you all that renown. The DLC characters were like 25,000 renown, so I mean it was a
Yeah.
little bit of a grind.
I could see
Yeah.
that
But-
being a huge grind, but like the base
Yeah.
characters, I didn't feel bad about like
Yeah.
Yeah.
unlocking them.
It was like what each team had like 4 people, like 2 on
Yeah.
each side, and
Yeah.
then like their price went up as you bought them. And
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
Yeah.
the top was like maybe 2,000 renown.
I think it's
So-
1800.
It might
Oh,
be
really?
1800,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So yeah, that's not bad at all. That's
No.
maybe like 3 games or so if you win each game.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, but yeah, the original characters were like next to no grind.
Mhm,
Yeah.
And I think they're some of like the best characters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the one thing that's nice is that they've actually kept Siege pretty balanced, so that
Yeah.
it's like a lot of base game operators still have a very high pick rate, as well as like are still perfectly viable too. I mean, Ashe, she's a attacking character in the game.
Yep.
She still has one of the highest pick rates in the game.
I
Yeah.
still pick Sledge on like a regular basis.
Yeah, Thatcher is still picked on a regular basis too. He's very useful.
I like Thatcher a lot.
Yeah,
Boy.
Rook is still picked quite a bit on
Yeah.
defender side. He's probably one of the best anchors on defender side.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
being able to drop those the
turkey sandwiches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love like accidentally forgetting there's a Rook on my team, and I just run like right past all the armor.
okay.
And I look around, I'm like, oh man, they're probably so mad at me for not picking up that armor.
Whenever my friends and I play, one of my friends actually mains Rook, and my other friend to troll, the other friend will do
Oh.
pretty much the animation to put one on, and so
and stop it right before.
yeah, stop it right before,
finishes.
so the guy who's playing Rook thinks that everyone got their armor, but then he'll look like before the round actually starts and be like, okay, who didn't get their armor? We all say, oh, we all got it, and it's like we all saw people get it, so he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Anyway.
times.
Yeah, good times. And so, yeah, just this whole controversy was a giant pain because Ubisoft, I thought we were through this. I thought we talked about this. I thought things were changing. Come on. This was
Never.
I mean, it is Ubisoft. I mean,
They'll
what
find
do
a way
you
to
do?
pick it up, right?
Yeah.
I guess like
Mm.
come on, guys. Yeah. And so
I just can't get over that price. That's,
still on
Oh,
that.
yeah, no.
Yeah, it's still
Shock
on
over
that.
there, just like
yeah, I'm just like, what?
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's the latest controversy in that community. It seems like every week we have a neat little controversy to talk about from Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Either one.
Yeah, so
It's
let's talk
just,
about yeah.
it's just how it goes. They're starting to make money, so Ubisoft wants more.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah. So I guess talk about another bad game company. Let's talk about EA. Only sort of like a derivative of EA, Bioware. So if you were like me and fell into a severe depression over the disappointment that was Mass Effect Andromeda last year, you'll probably know the turmoiled development cycle that Andromeda had, where they basically had to rewrite the script it was about 12 months before the game came out.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
it was developed by BioWare Montreal, which granted wasn't the primary BioWare studio during this whole time. I guess Anthem, which we talked about on the show a little bit, I guess apparently to come out of this statement that I'm about to say is that Anthem has apparently been in development since Mass Effect 3 released
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
by BioWare's primary studio. So that's looking
that's not a good point. Good
That's-
sign.
yeah, and considering Anthem looks like it's going to be in 2019 now, not 2018.
Whoa.
Got the
Yeah,
later.
so that's the main point of this is that Anthem got delayed and BioWare is allegedly in shambles, in development shambles. and the main studio is allegedly having the same problems that BioWare Montreal had with Andromeda throughout its development and everything. And we can only really speculate as to what the reasons are. If you look back at Mass Effect Andromeda, it's basically the engine that EA is pushing every one of their developers to use, Frostbite, doesn't work for every single game genre out there.
Yep.
Right.
So
They were talking about how they used Frostbite on like what was that? Battlefield, the police one.
Hardline?
Hardline.
Yeah, Hardline, right? And
Yeah.
they're trying to use Frostbite like in that and then transfer
That
it
looks
over to
terrible.
Mass Effect, and it's
Yeah.
not a good way to work.
No. So I believe the current engine is Frostbite 2. It might be 2 point something by this point, because I do know they iterationally update it more or less for every Battlefield that's around. But Frostbite 2, which is the big like framework engine and everything for you mostly prominently saw it in the Battlefield games and everything. I guess Frostbite 2 who was also developed by DICE. Frostbite 2 isn't apparently the most modular thing to work with, and it's very set in its ways for an FPS a la Battlefield.
Yeah.
So if you try to add in a bit more RPG elements to it, it kind of begins to fail and break down, as evidenced by Mass Effect Andromeda. And so
Awesome.
It's not so good for football games either, it turns out.
wait, did they really try Madden on Frostbite?
Yeah.
Whoa,
What?
Oh.
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It didn't
oh,
look
man.
good.
That's
I wonder what
Wow.
that
Alright.
new EA UFC game uses. That's Frostbite.
I would assume it'd probably be. I think they're using Frostbite for everything.
That
So
game has some wacky animation, like the old ones do, but
Yeah,
some
they
probably
do.
have some weird ones as well.
so I just gotta ask, what does Tom Brady's pores look like?
I don't know.
Okay.
They're
Probably pretty
magic,
sexy.
probably good. Yeah, magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gold.
Imagine he
is
gets a bunch of
coming
beauty
out.
tips from his wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Needs them.
yeah. Yeah, wow. I didn't yeah. That's all I have to say. It's just like Madden on Frostbite engine, okay.
Yeah.
Don't say anything to that. That's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
it's
not? Why
Probably
not?
just something they could put on the box. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Everybody likes this engine. Let's use it for everything.
They could do it as like a joke, switch over to Frostbite 2 and have a great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or don't.
Or-
Have a better experience.
Yeah. So Casey Hudson, who was the lead writer for the Mass Effect trilogy of games and is all around solid dude. I've actually met him, and he actually signed the back of my keyboard when I met him, which was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Casey Hudson, basically, who has moved up in the world from just being like lead writer to he's more of like an executive producer type role for the primary BioWare studio for Dragon Age and whatnot. Also released a statement talking about how, along with Anthem being delayed, how that concept work has begun on the next Dragon Age game. And rumors are starting to circulate around that, saying that it looks like BioWare's next Dragon Age game will be more of a games as a service model.
Interesting.
How would that work exactly? Like,
Yeah, good question.
Party members like being that way, or
I don't know, but
Here you go. Here's Act 1. Buy Act
Right.
2 when it comes out in
Yeah.
3 months.
oh, okay,
okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they could do it episodic.
yeah,
Oh man.
or like unlocking content, I guess, like certain areas,
Yeah.
adding them on the world.
It
So-
worked for Hitman, right? It'll work for Dragon Age.
So okay,
Yeah,
so
how does that work?
we know of 4 games that are in the pipeline right now for EA that are relatively soonish. Okay? We know of Battlefield 2018, which is allegedly Bad Company 3, which I actually don't believe to be the title, at least. But I do believe a lot of the other links around the game. So we know of Battlefield 2018. We know of the Star Wars game that they're working on. That's not Battlefront 2, but is like the more... I don't know.
Who knows
to
what it
describe
is now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I believe we at COG we covered that whole thing. We know of the next Dragon Age game now, and we know of Anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wasn't A Way Out as well?
Is that EA?
I think that was Was that EA or Ubisoft?
It was EA.
I think
It was EA.
I
Yeah.
think it's EA, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, that changes things a little bit, but not really. So 3 out of the 5 games we
Yeah,
know
it's EA.
looks like we'll probably follow games as a service model.
Mhm.
Yeah. If we're to believe the Dragon Age rumors for it, which I think actually do have some credit and merit to them, because it would make sense to, like, from what I've played of Dragon Age and everything, it kind of seems like it could fit it too.
Mm.
So yeah, 60% of EA's games will be games as a service. We know Anthem
Well,
is already probably following that, because it'd be perfect not to, and it's EA's competitor Destiny. It really is. We know the Star Wars is in fact going to be one based on the statement EA released when they announced the
Right.
restructure of that project. And yeah, now we have Dragon Age.
I mean, they could do it with a way out as well. They could. There's
Yeah.
not that much info on that, but
I think
knowing-
they've gone out and
Yep.
said like this is like only co-op, and they're gonna
Yep.
just put it out. And it's like I don't think it's a full. Is that game full price?
I would assume not. I don't
No, I
know.
thought that game was like $40, but I could
I would hope
Yeah.
it's like 30 or 40.
30 or 40. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's just kind of one of those like they're taking a chance on like a
Smaller.
smaller company.
Yeah. I mean, A Way Out does look good.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'll give it that. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Wow. Dragon Age. Gee.
Have you guys played Dragon Age? Because I honestly really haven't.
I
I
Okay.
have. I've played enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
It
me
wouldn't
too.
work. I don't reckon it'd work.
Okay.
No way,
Yeah,
because,
I've got no idea how it would.
Really? Okay.
yeah, unless they had like an absolutely giant map where, yeah, I don't know, like I was just playing Dragon Age 1 a couple of weeks ago, and you cover quite a distance in the first couple of hours of gameplay. You do your caves and you go through the caves depending who you play with,
Yeah.
as like a dwarf or whatever. And
Yeah.
you go and you do with the what are they called? The mage people?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Sure.
Um,
Sorcerers?
yep.
I don't know.
no, they're called white something or other, I think.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. White Wardens or something like that?
Grey Wardens.
Grey Wardens, that's it, yeah.
Grey Wardens. Anyway, yeah, you play with them and then you do all this other stuff, and I don't see it working, but anyway, you never know.
EA will
they'll
find a
probably
way.
ruin it doing that.
EA
but
will
yeah.
find a way.
We'll see.
I could see them doing what they did with the first game, where you talk to an NPC and he gives you this whole long spiel, and it's like, buy the DLC?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know. Not necessarily a bad thing that they're doing this game.
No,
for
it's
service,
not.
But I mean, it could be.
Right, it
It
could
could
be.
easily go
Could
in
be.
that direction. But
Yeah.
it kind of sucks that we're just playing that waiting game and kind of seeing
Yeah.
how they implement all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that depends a lot on, like, how it's implemented. You're right. Like, I mean, Hitman was really good the way it
Mhm.
was, but the Hitman game is kind of built that way. Kind of like, here's a sandbox, go,
Yeah.
have
Mm.
fun.
Mhm.
Do each mission and yeah.
Right. Like, fighting games, I mean, I haven't seen one yet that does it right. I mean, Street Fighter did not do it right. But
I guess
I
I would say
mean-
Killer Instinct did it pretty well, but
Killer Instinct did it pretty well, yeah. Having, seasons of characters or, whatever,
they had like a rotating free character for like new people.
Right.
So-
I think that would be, a smart way to go about it, but I don't think just splitting up a game, calling it a service for its own good is a good idea in any way.
Mm.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know,
I mean,
some kind of
yeah.
marketing speak.
Yeah, it's the hot language.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Destiny didn't do it too badly.
okay,
No.
what's your I'm kind of curious based on some of the stuff you just said. What's your idea, or what are y'all's ideas of games as a service? Like, what does that constitute for you? I'm not saying you can be wrong here, but I'm just wondering what qualifies.
I'm thinking it along the lines of, like, I guess almost like a, you're continually paying, you're
Yeah.
paying basically like a monthly or yearly fee to continue to have, the up-to-date,
Mm-hmm.
you know, game.
Okay.
So, Street Fighter paying, what, $25 a year for 4 characters that are going to be released over that year. That's what I would kind of think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rainbow Six is another good example of doing it,
Yeah,
and
at a
kind
baseline
of,
price model,
yeah,
because at least everything is still accessible to you. Like you
Right.
just have to use the in-game stuff, but yeah, you can definitely pay for it. Okay. Because like I kind of break it down a couple different ways. So it's like you have what I would what I would describe as a subscription model. It's your classic MMO model where it's like $15 a month or whatever. That's amount per month for a subscription, and then there's like the expansions that they release every year and a half, 2 years or
hmm
so. Okay. So
Yeah.
I view that as like the extreme end of games as a service, and then like
yeah,
the casual end of it, I view kind of more of a Destiny thing. Because like I never played Destiny 1, but I did follow a lot of the like DLC and pricing releases for it and everything. And it's like I
yeah,
know they released expansions almost
Yeah.
on or like major content releases.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And
That's kind of the way I look at it. Yeah,
okay. Okay.
But with Destiny, it kind of works because you go into space, you do your individual missions, and you go to the different worlds and all that. I don't. I mean, Destiny kind of is an open world kind of experience, but I don't really see an RPG working like that.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, Destiny is an RPG, like an MMORPG, but it's an open world, on the ground RPG kind of thing.
Well,
I
but
don't.
and Dragon Age is I mean, it's a Bioware game, so it's inherently, story based.
Mm,
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and how are you going to, you know, split up that story? You gonna do
yeah,
it like
exactly.
episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like a
Yeah,
Telltale game,
yeah,
or uh, just have what, like 20 hours per chunk or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Uh, I don't know how that's gonna work.
mm,
Okay. Okay, I was just
I don't know
wondering what
how it
the
would
it's
work
like.
successfully.
Yeah, I was just wondering what your exact what your exact thoughts on that were because
mm,
yeah. So and also another serious part of it is it seems like EA viewed Andromeda as a pretty bad failure on BioWare's end,
Yeah,
regardless of whether or not it was like their off studio or not, for the sole fact that EA did in fact offer them a multi-month like delay. Like they could have released it in June, three or
yeah,
4 months later in June
yeah,
if they wanted to. EA was perfectly fine with that, but BioWare's like, oh no, we can totally release it in March, and well, we all know how that worked out. And so EA wasn't very happy.
really well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. EA certainly was not very happy with how that turned out, and they were very upset with the execs over at BioWare who made that decision. And so it seems like there's a lot of nerves at the BioWare studio developing Anthem because this is make or break for them.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
granted, none of the details of the contract are public or anything. It's just, yeah, there's definitely the very negative sentiment going on within that studio, I'm sure, that it's like, oh, if this isn't good, this could be bad. So, how do you think that could possibly affect the game's development too?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, like stress does weird things to people.
Yeah.
Mistakes get made. Uh, it'd be real sad to see BioWare go the way of you know,
Visceral.
Visceral or any number of studios that EA has closed
Yeah,
Yeah.
for less, honestly. Uh, but I don't know. I
yeah,
haven't been a huge fan of BioWare since really like Mass Effect 1,
Mm-hmm.
like, and the first Dragon Age. Like, I think Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age 2 kind of signaled a shift away from like KOTOR and like those kind of games towards
mm,
Okay, that's fair.
being more about the story and less about like actually being an RPG, just kind of being a story driven thing that, you just got through. You did the, RPG elements and that kind of stuff, but they were
Uh-huh.
more kind of lip service.
Okay. you
I
could
just worry because it's been in development since Mass Effect 3. If it has been, if that rumor is correct, that's worrying.
Was that 2012?
Yeah, that was 2012. That was March of 2012.
Jeez.
That is worrying.
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at, because Anthem did get its release date pushed back to 2019. That's a 7-year development cycle for this game.
Has any game with a 7-year development cycle came out and not
Good.
been a mess?
Let me tell you about
Has
this
it-
game called Duke Nukem Forever.
That was a great game.
Oh
Don't shoot
yeah, we
that
have
now.
to. That's perfectly acceptable to bring into this,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
wasn't that game canceled and then brought back, or was it just perpetually delayed and in development?
From what I've read, it was just perpetually delayed and in development. Like
Oh,
George
no.
Broussard saw, like they started development with, here's Duke Nukem 3D. Let's
Yeah.
do more of that. And then Half-Life came out, so he needed Half-Life stuff. And then Halo came out, and then Call of Duty, and then
Oh no.
until you just had this
Mess.
ridiculous mess.
Yes, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, some of that stuff I would be willing to say that like bits and pieces of Duke Nukem Forever were good.
Yeah.
I mean, but they were buried under so much like half-baked stuff that you could see, you could be like, oh, this was the Call of Duty level. Oh,
Yeah.
look, we're in the Half-Life section. You could really see that.
Yeah.
And it just, it was depressing.
I mean, it could have been that had it in development in 2012 and then they pushed it back for something else. So it's
Well,
just been
like-
sidelined.
So we know at the same time after Mass Effect 3 is that the EA's primary studio, and I forget exactly which city or country it's from or whatever, because but I know EA's primary or BioWare's primary studio rather,
Somewhere in Canada.
went on to work on Anthem, and then their external studio, as we'll call it, BioWare Montreal, would go on to begin full-time work on Andromeda, on Mass Effect Andromeda, to continue the series. So we know that little split happened. And then I know...
Somewhere in there, New Dragon Age came out.
Yeah.
From somewhere.
Yeah, I guess, apparently as it goes, is that Anthem was put on the back burner for them to develop Dragon Age, but they had the third Dragon Age planned pretty much right after Mass Effect 2 came out.
So they've been killing time.
I know, yeah, but like, this is just... You look at the development cycle for like how this would have timed out in terms of a game's development, and with BioWare's 2, maybe 3 studios, this is insane to think about.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I wonder how much they've spent on it so far.
Ugh.
I don't know.
So that'd be,
That's really, that is worrying. I mean...
But with this knowledge, you look back at like BioWare's like game timeline of releases and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's kind of insane to think about what they're bringing.
I mean, if you think about it,
what they're
like,
bringing
what,
up. Yeah.
Dragon Age Inquisition was, 2013 or 2014?
Yeah.
That's still 5 years from the last time BioWare released, like, a main game or whatever.
Yeah, it would have been 4 years from Mass Effect 2, because Mass Effect 2 came out in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So, that seems fine enough. And then, like, in 2010... Mass Effect 2 came out, and then in 2012 we did get Mass Effect 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I mean, that's almost like Hideo Kojima levels of taking their time and...
right.
It'd want to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Anthem's 7-year development cycle. I can't think of a longer game. And it does kind of correlate to what do you qualify the development cycle of being, because like I view the development cycle starting as early as concept arting a game, so, or to seriously concept art a game. I'm not talking about like the drawings some BioWare
Some
developer
napkin
has in their
drawing.
closet or something.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like seriously conceptualizing a game
Yeah.
and for release. And so that's as early as I view it. I know some people think not until it's written out and everything does development really start. So really,
I mean, I would say that it probably depends on the game. Like, I would say whatever point where, like, work began in earnest. You know,
Okay.
you can have like serious concept art that you hold for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like there has been for Half-Life 3.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, but you know, like I guess whatever the point is where it becomes something that you're developing.
Okay.
You know,
Once it gets approved and full-time work starts on it.
right?
Okay.
If that starts with, you know, hey, you know, we've got this idea for a game. Here's the pitch, and they're like, okay, yeah, that sounds good, and then they go make
Yep.
some concept art. That's when, you know,
Yep.
it starts. If somebody makes some concept art, you know, and then holds on to it for 10 years, or you know, like a
Yeah.
snippet of code, or you know, but then goes dormant for a long period of time, I wouldn't necessarily think that that was development time.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's definitely fair. I'm going through in my head, so let's assume for the sake of this discussion that Anthem was in fact started development or like serious development work from 2012 onward.
Yeah.
Not my mic there. And so and if it released in 2019, that'll be 7 years development time.
Yeah.
I can't think of another game in recent memory that had 7 years of development time tied onto it.
I mean, Metal
What
Gear
about-
Solid 5 had a good, you know, would be close to 7 years probably.
Really? Okay.
But that's,
Well,
I mean,
part of that was an engine too.
well, yeah, but like Hideo Kojima is a whole different beast
Yeah.
than
I definitely
BioWare,
understand
I
that.
think.
Yeah. I definitely
Uh,
understand
Maybe
that
they're
one.
making a new engine for it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gonna be Frostbite,
Yeah,
you know? It's gonna be
Yeah.
Frostbite.
Maybe they're going with
Frostbite
Frostbite 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that would be DICE though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, true.
But yeah, you know, Metal Gear Solid 5 did have the Fox engine that they developed, and
mhm.
that's a whole nother tragedy that game doesn't have, you know, hasn't been licensed out for, you know, 100 games by now.
Yeah,
But
the FOTS engine seemed insane when I played
yeah,
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Mm.
Yeah, just all the
Uh,
possibilities with it.
right. And thing with like Hideo Kojima's games is I mean, in the end, like every decision probably was made by him. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like a committee of people. You know, he didn't have EA sticking their noses in, and
Yeah, yep.
you know, the 20 different people on the board of BioWare, and
Mhm.
you know, he probably had some Konami people stick their nose in, and he probably told them to get out.
Yeah.
And they just kind of bowed and left.
Yeah.
How long was The Last Guardian in development for? Because I just remember that game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Okay.
That was
that's 10
that was
years.
probably-
It was a while, right?
That was
Yeah.
that was that actually that was definitely a while because they
I think it was 10
actually
years.
they started, let's call it, conceptualizing it after Shadow of the Colossus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was like
you look-
PS2. So
yeah, so that was quite a
It was
while.
the end of PS2.
But then
yeah.
they've scrapped it multiple times
Mhm.
and redone it. Yeah. So
But I mean, the Sony constantly was saying, "No, it's in development." So I would count all of that as development time.
Okay.
You know, I
Yeah.
would say like if a studio is willing to be like, "No, yeah, we're working on it,"
uh-huh.
that you
It's
know,
in development time. Okay.
development time.
Then yeah, it definitely is. Breath
So
of the
all
Wild.
of this time, all
Yeah.
of this time has a Half-Life 3 has been in development. I would say.
Oh man.
So
Yeah,
we'll
Breath-
come out and say, "Yeah, we're working on it."
Yeah, Breath of the
So-
Wild had at least 6 years.
Yeah.
So that's almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Skyward Sword released in 2011 and Breath of the Wild 2017. So, okay.
True.
Nintendo might also be a little different because who knows if they just start with a Zelda game like right after they release the last one.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we already
So-
know work that we already know that work on the next big Zelda has begun.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well then, yeah.
Yep.
I wonder if it's gonna be like a Majora's Mask style, like same engine.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly would. Yeah.
I'd be okay with Majora's Mask too. I mean, that was a pretty sweet game.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
definitely.
I enjoyed that.
So, concluding thoughts on BioWare in shambles, being in shambles, or all or nothing.
Get it together.
Get it together. Okay.
Yeah.
I want Knights of the Old
Get
Republic
your act
3.
together.
I want Knights of the Old Republic 3 Nets, please. Anyway. Yeah. We're all taking orders now.
Yep.
All right. So, I think that about wraps up the show, guys. So, John, where can we find you on social media, if anywhere?
I'm on social media everywhere. It's kind of my job now.
Great.
So you can find me on Twitter at LeftStick. You can find me on Facebook at LeftStick Gaming.
Okay.
Those are the big places. My PSN is LeftStick87, if anybody cares.
Nice.
Yeah.
What games would you like to play with them?
I don't know. Send me a request.
All
I'll
right.
see if I've got it.
Yeah. Squad up with John for at the very least Rainbow Six. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
Good with that too.
Okay. Andrew, how about yourself?
You can find me on all the fun social media websites at Duronsky. That's DURONSKI.
Okay.
You can follow me there if you want. You don't have to. It's not, I don't do it important.
Yeah. Okay. Anthony?
Random stuff. Not really. No, not really. That's also on that. I'm not really on Twitter or Facebook or any of that. So I'm mainly researching for social media for the site at the moment.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
yeah, that's where all my time's going.
Gotcha.
Yeah, follow the site on social media.
Yeah.
Twitter's at cog.net. Facebook, I think, is
Facebook.com/cog.net.
Okay.
Our Facebook groups is facebook.com/groups/culture of gaming forums. So that's for, podcast information of what we're coming up with and insider info on the site and where we're going and articles and all of that.
Okay.
Our Twitter is twitter.com/cog.net as well.
Okay.
And Twitch is twitch.tv/culture of gaming. YouTube is cog.net as well. And we also have a Discord forums group, which I'm not going to go into because it's all massive numbers and random stuff, but we'll put that in the description down the bottom.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, isn't it? We have a Discord community server. And so if you want to debate any of us or any one of our writers that put out an article opinion that you don't like, you can do so in, of course, the friendliest manner possible. And so,
Always.
we definitely welcome that. You can find us on the Discord community server, which if you go to the website, there's a big giant join button on the right. So
yeah, and it's on our Facebook and forums, and it'll be under our YouTube video and on all our podcasts on iTunes and all of that. So you shouldn't be able to miss it, hopefully.
Yeah. I'm only on Twitter, and I occasionally tweet. I think I maybe had one tweet for 2017. But I am definitely trying to pick it up a little bit now. Okay.
Yep.
And so it's twitter.com/InferusTaylor. Again, links will be in the description. I think that about wraps it up. Is there anything cool coming down the pipe for COG that you'd like the viewers to know about, Anthony?
We've got a lot going on at the moment. We're going into content marketing and influencer, like social media influencers, and we're working on a couple of article series. And we've got a lot going on, but we'll keep you updated on all of our social medias and all of that. So just keep an eye on them, and you should be right.
Okay. I do have an announcement to make, as I do most of the media side of things here at Culture of Gaming. I would like to announce rather that work has begun on COG's sort of web series that you can find on COG's YouTube channel, and it's going to be a sort of documentary regarding major events in EVE's history. So, be an episodic series, and we're going to try and make it as real as possible for people.
Yep.
So we're going to try and use all the real comms that were recorded, player interviews that were relevant to the various events, stuff like that. So
awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we hope to have that out later this year. We'll say at least.
Later this year.
Yeah, later this year. Honestly, the
7-year development.
I know.
It'll be done when it's ready.
Yeah. So anyway, I have been your host, Taylor, and I will see you, or maybe some of us will see you next week for Power Up Podcast Episode 5. Tell your friends, same time, same place. Have a good week, everybody.
Have a good week. Enjoy.
Bye.